All right, let's get into it. Weekly track roundup, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And it is time for a weekly track roundup. My thoughts, my feelings, my ideas, my conceptions of thoughts and opinions on a bunch of songs that have dropped over the past week or so. We're rounding them up. That's what we do. Every track I mention linked down below so you can check it out for yourself. Still having a bit of a rough time with the allergies, not going to lie, but I still hope that they do not beat me up too much over the course of this recording for my sake and for yours. Also linked down below with the tracks I'm about to mention, our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it if you use it to buy some vinyl, buy some speakers, buy some turntables, buy 2 turntables and a microphone. Beck reference. Anyway, yeah, we get kickback from it, supports the channel, supports your music habit. It's not a habit, it's a hobby. But yeah, that would be great. That'd be awesome. Also linked down below, our Patreon page. Get some extra bonus monthly content while supporting us in the process. We're about to drop a new Patreon only Let's Argue. So again, if you want that sweet extra content, it's over there. Also, our YouTube Shorts page, where you can see all of that fire short form content we are making on a regular basis. Our website, theneedledrop.com, with a regularly updated news section. That's pretty sick too. And the worst tracks of the week. They are as follows. We have a handful of those. Let's do it. New one from Sleep Token. Yes, Damocles. Surprise, surprise. It's not that good. Just sounds like an annoying pop song with very somber, obnoxious vocals. That is until the roaring, overproduced metal guitars come into the mix, and then it just sounds like a pop song that is so loud that I want to shut that I want to shut it off. So yeah, not my thing. Still not my thing. Hasn't been my thing. Most likely will not be my thing into the future, but who knows? You know, things change. All right, moving on from there, we also have a new one from All American Rejects, Sandbox, out of nowhere. New All American Rejects. Kind of mind-blowing that this is the same band that well over a decade ago, about 2 decades ago at this point, was dropping some of those pop punk and emo bangers, because this just sounds wildly off-key, sloppy, unprofessional. Again, just can't really believe it's the same band. Not only because I feel like they fail to follow through with their trademark style, but the playing and singing just feels so absurdly off. This just kind of seems like the sort of recording that you would get from a group with like less than a quarter of their experience. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Flo Milli, Gripper, featuring T-Pain, which features an interpolation of I'm in love with a stripper, you know, I'm in love. And yeah, it pretty much goes like, I'm in love with the Gripper. You can use your imagination as to, you know, what that's all about. The issue is not that I think that this is like a bad song to interpolate or a bad way to interpolate it as far as, you know, the lyrics go. It is kind of funny, and you know, the original song is pretty salacious. Why not a new version? But this like kind of, I don't know, stripped back sort of country direction with the prominent guitar that the song is doing, I feel like is not really doing it, honestly. I feel like something that would have been a bit more, I don't know, lively, it would be holding my interest better, and I'll leave it there. All right. Pink Pony Club, remixed by the Chainsmokers. And of course, with no surprises whatsoever, they ruin the song. They pretty much take out anything that would be interesting from it. And the whole first leg just doesn't really complement Chappell's voice at all. And then once like those jutting staccato abrasive synthesizers come in around the midpoint, it's just all bets are off. It's just terrible. Yeah, cannot stand this, not one bit. It's really the worst thing that I could have imagined. All right, thank you. The tracks that I was on the fence with, they are as follows. Not crazy about them, but you might like them more than me. Here we go. We have a new one over here from Underscores, as well as Umru, who are teaming up on a bit of a Y2K electropop type single. I'm going to be honest. I much rather would listen to a lot of tracks from the previous Underscores album, which had, I guess more of a punky and pop rock flair. This is okay, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff out there like this these days, and this is maybe not like, my favorite, but if you're looking for more of that kind of throwback electro pop with super punchy beats, give this a listen. It's nice to sort of hear the Underscores vocals can kind of like transition into an instrumental palette like this, though, and it still sounds solid. It just doesn't really sound as distinct as a lot of the stuff from the last album, and I'll leave it there. All right. We also have Young Thug, who's coming through with a brand new album now that he is out and about, no longer, in the midst of his court battle. First single, Money on Money, features Future, and it's all right. Just kind of like a standard trap Young Thug banger. Okay, Future feature. It sounds as solid as anything that was like on that record that he came out with in the midst of his trial. However, given that he is now more in full creative control of his music and has the opportunity to record brand new stuff, I was kind of hoping that he would, maybe drop something a bit more fiery or exciting, but this is just kind of okay. It just kind of seems like he's back to business as usual. I'll leave it there. We also have a new one over here from Portugal the Man, who are coming through with this track, V.I.S, and it's an okay pop rock single. It's got a bit of an indie Pixies-esque flair, though I will say, despite this being such an obvious influence, it hasn't really translated into kind of the drama and nuance and intensity that early Pixies is kind of known for. I feel like it's maybe a bit of a pale comparison to stuff from that time period. I'll leave it there. All right. We also have a M83, A Necessary Escape Part 2, brand new track, which pretty much sees the project giving us this very progressive electronic ambient synth odyssey. If you're a big fan of projects like Boards of Canada, while I don't think this is quite as interesting as, some of the classic works from them, it's certainly like, in a similar lane. So if you're looking for something along those lines, check this one out. It's a lengthy track for sure. Very immersive. We also have a new one from Lorde. What Was That? Brand new single. And while I do think the very punchy pop production on this track is a welcome change of pace from a lot of the songs from the last album, I feel like the tune on this track doesn't really stand out. I mean, the shouty, what was that? I don't know. It's okay. It's giving a little iconopop, I suppose, though maybe not as fun or as anthemic. And the lyrics are quite intense in terms of like their pacing, and it sort of seems like Lorde is just like running over a lot of fragments of experiences in the midst of like kind of a drug-fueled haze, that sort of thing. It's chaotic. The storytelling is just all over the place. But, despite all of the fire and passion going into it, I just feel like we haven't really gotten all that strong of a song. Again, I feel like a lot of fans are going to enjoy this kind of more visceral, punchier direction over a lot of the stuff from the last record, but this is just not really doing it for me, songwriting wise, I'll say. All right, we have a new one over here from HAIM, a perfectly fine pop rock single from them. Down to Be Wrong is the title of that one. Again, it's all right, kind of standard for them. We also have a new one from Full of Hell, who have come through with a new single, bit of a short one. Night's Oath is the title of the track. It's a decent kind of like blackened death metal blend. It's very brittle, very riffy, nothing too experimental or fast or anything like that. I feel like it's just got a very kind of classic black metal, death metal combo going on here. We also have Pink Elephant, title track from the forthcoming Arcade Fire album. A very somber, low-key single. Feels like they're kind of stripping it back to a very grim ballad that sounds like something that could be from the Suburbs era, though it's not quite hitting in the same way. It's fine. And the best tracks of the week, we have quite a few of those to get to, so let's start digging into that. We have Squid, who have come through with a new non-album single, which honestly, like, everything this track brings to the table, the more intense vocals, the horns, the fiery performance, instrumentation, all that. This is everything I was hoping to hear on the band's last album. I don't know why it's kind of like popping up now in the way that it is on this track, but I'll take it. I'll take the longer version and the edited version of this track on the new singles because they are both fire, frankly. All right, moving on from there. Flame Unbroken. Brand new track featuring not only Eprom, but Shades and Alix Perez. If you love some bass music, if you want to hear some crazy low end, give this a listen because this is some banger production over here. Great collaboration all around. We also have a new one from Quadeca, Ben, come through the new single. Second from the forthcoming album, which I am really looking forward to. Gave this one a full review over on the Fantano channel, and it is a beautiful, beautiful piece of Baroque pop with a lot of interesting allusions to clothing and the lyrics, a lot of metaphor going on, really some of the most lush and just straight up pretty instrumentation we have heard on any Quadeca track so far. Between this and the last single that he dropped, it sort of seems like Ben is just going for some prettier instrumental palettes, and it is working out quite nicely. We also have a new one over here from the only PinkPantheress. Stateside is the name of the track. The Dare on production. And actually her voice sounds quite great over this like kind of punchier indie electro production palette, and great songwriting, very catchy, very slick, and again, liking kind of the additional texture that the Dare tends to bring to his tracks, and also liking, hearing PinkPantheress dig a little bit more into song structure, because, while the new singles so far have been tight, they have not been quite as brief as obviously a lot of the songs that kind of put PinkPantheress on the map to begin with. So, hearing something a bit more built out, a bit punchier is quite nice. Also enjoying Cheetah, Near Archives, teaming up on this new banger single, Get Loose. Shouty choruses, strong break beats, and a lot of hype, a lot of energy. Enjoying this one a lot. Also enjoying this new one from Model Actriz. This track, believe it or not, kind of sounds like, your typical dark, groovy Model Actriz number. But like when the melodic lead vocals come in, and the drums switch up a little bit, it kind of sounds like a Tool song, like a classic Tool track. But if you could have it sound like left field and weird and dark, like something a Shoo Shoo fan would enjoy. Believe it or not, I feel like that's the combo of vibes going on here. It works, and it's working for me at the very least. All right. We also have Megan Thee Stallion, Whenever. Brand new track, brand new single. Nothing too crazy on this one. Just sounds like some very straightforward, hard-hitting Southern hip-hop with a lot of shouty refrains and choruses, strong vocal samples that are pitched down. It's got some classic like Fever era Megan vibes going on here, and it's just great to hear her drop, kind of a classic style Megan banger right after this album cycle that for her was like so personal, digging into, just a lot of stuff going on in her life and so on and so forth. Here she's just like straight up talking some shit, dropping some gems, and bringing a lot of that classic Megan attitude. All right, we also have Kali Uchis, second single from her forthcoming record, and this one is a very, very pretty spotlit ballad with a tried and true chord progression. Radiohead creep vibes, I would say, actually. And it sort of seems like a bit of a mommy ballad. I Love You So Much It Hurts is the name of the track. Sort of seems like it comes from a very loving, tender place, quite nice. And liking the vibe on this one all around. It's very pretty, it's very sweet, and this one is it. This one is it. All right, we also have Flume and JPEGMAFIA teaming up for some new music. We are hearing track 1. That is the title of the track, I believe. It's kind of paired with like a big long animation music video, that sort of thing on YouTube. And it's quite fun. It's great to, gummy, colorful production. Sort of seems like Flume has this back and forth where, he does more mainstream stuff, does more experimental underground stuff. This sort of seems like he's kind of heading back in that weird left field, wonky bass music type production direction, and I'm really liking it. I feel like once again it's cool to sort of hear him experiment and explore just like more colorful textures and production styles, and sort of have JPEGMAFIA in there bringing some vocals to just kind of make it goofier and more fun. right, we also have Caroline, this band that I'm just kind of coming into familiarity with based off of this track, this new single, which features none other than Caroline Polachek. So we have Caroline teaming up with Caroline Polachek for a forthcoming album titled Caroline 2. So Caroline, 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 triple Caroline for this track. And just really amazing, sort of like, it's difficult to describe. I mean, it's definitely got a distinctly, classic 2000s kind of indie flair to it, but a bit of post-rock going on, a bit of that, kind of big band indie vibe where you have all the strings piling up and everything like that. It's just very grandiose, just sounds very big. And the production and the recording is so crisp and it's so intense. And each piece of instrumentation comes together in, just like a really rowdy, sort of out of control way. It doesn't all sort of meld together in sort of a wall of sound that I think, a lot of bands that kind of tend to layer on a lot of instrumentation like this, they sort of have a tendency to do, maybe because it just kind of like makes sense in terms of instrumental placements, a bit of a Phil Spector sort of sound meld. But this, everything sounds so clear and vibrant and upfront and in your face. It sounds like you're in the room surrounded by the band as they're playing this song, which has a much more kind of different and intense vibe to it. And Caroline Polachek's vocals on the track are beautiful, are gorgeous. So really great crossover, really intense tune. Love the progression overall. I'm really looking forward to this Caroline 2 album. Some thrilling stuff over here. Thrilling freaking stuff. All right, we also have Itty Bitty, new single from Ashnikko, which we have talked about before on the channel that I thought was kind of okay. But now we have a HorsegiirL remix of the track, which I think brings out the song's kind of like naturally quirky, weird, funny flavor. It's not quite so dark and aggressive and edgy now. It's just a bit sillier and more fun, and I think it's the track is the better for it. I kind of prefer this remix over the original, but that's just me. But yeah, Ashnikko and HorsegiirL teaming up. Love that for them. And finally, this new one from 8485, G.I.R.L, or Good in Real Life, with Danny Brown. Banger track, banger single. Love this crossover. Like weird terminally online pop with a fire Danny Brown verse. I just love that Danny is kind of helping to put on a lot of these different artists in the underground pop sphere as of late. It's just like the weirdest, most unexpected series of crossovers, but every single one so far has been super crazy, very entertaining. I mean, Danny is just a bit of a chameleon. He can just kind of team up with any number of different artists and just kind of smash it every time. And I'm sort of unfamiliar with this 8485 artist, but after a track like this, after a track that goes as hard as this one, I'm most definitely going to be looking forward to more. That's for sure. But yeah, that's going to be it for the weekly track roundup. Allergies didn't kill me too hard in this one, which is nice. Always happy about that. Again, every track I talked about linked down below so you can check it out for yourself. Over here next to my head, another video that you could check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, weekly tracks forever.